Hello and welcome. I recorded this video whilst creating my design team layout ready for the January 28th mood board challenge over on the Studio Challenges blog. I'll include the link in the description below so you can find it and join along with us. I have this die cut which I'm not quite sure where it comes from, maybe the Paper Issue store, not positive though. Anyway, and I cut it out on my silhouette machine and decided to back it with papers mainly from Chamel's Glitter Girl range, although this piece was in my stash and I'm not really quite sure where it comes from. But I love the colour and it worked. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch me back at all. Before you know it, we'll jump to where it's all completely done. What you also didn't see was me have to recut out little bits that I didn't quite glue in the right spot. But I've picked out all the papers from the Glitter Girl range that matches in with the colours of the mood board. And this photo is of this gorgeous teddy bear that got made for me last year. I thought I'm also going to try and use my gelatos. They've been sitting on the shelf for ages and ages, and I've never or haven't got them out for so long, and I thought it's about time. So I tried the packaging technique. Then you can see there I just scribbled on the page with them and used some water to activate them and spread them around, and really I was just making a big colourful mess. I pulled out all the gelatos that fit in with the colours of the mood board and away I went. No rhyme or reason thinking about where I'm putting them. I just slap them down on the page and that's it. Also pulled out a few sprays. You can see that one was a shimmer spray, and I'm going to pull out a Lindy Stamp Gang spray and a couple of Heidi Swap colour shines as well, just for some extra texture. No, not quite texture, but colour in the background. I checked at one point to make sure it was big enough to be seen behind the die cut there, and I didn't want it to sit flat on the page, so I used offcuts of my fun foam and backed every little heart with them so that it sat off the page, gave it a little bit of extra dimension. And then when you look at it in real life, you can see the shadows and everything else. There you go, all ready to go. But because I wanted to tuck the photo in, I also knew I had to back that with fun foam too, which you'll see in a little while. When I placed it on the page, I thought it was a bit bland just with the die cutting and the gelatos. So I did think, well, a little bit of paper on top and bottom will just bring the layout together, or bring your eye into the layout. I like using this little technique with a double-sided tape. That way I know I can get it on exactly right. It doesn't move on me generally and makes it easy to position. Every time I've ever tried to do it with my ATG gun, I always get it in the wrong spot and have to rip it off. At least this way, I've got much greater chance of getting it where I want it to go. I could have taken it over to my sewing machine and done some sewing, but my bobbin needs refilling and I'm a bit lazy, so no sewing on this layout. I did like the white border on the photo from the printing, but it was just a bit fat, so I trimmed it off. And then I tried to work out how I could actually mat the photo with this piece of paper that's got a heart cut out of it. And I did it. If you have a good look, you can see where they're joined, but you have to look for it. You watch, there you go. I'm going to stick it there, and only you and I know it's not a complete piece of paper. Here you go. Got a piece of green fun foam for this one. I didn't really think about how big that fun foam needed to be, and you'll see in a little while I have to cut the corner out so it can actually fit into the heart, not overlap the heart. Just gave it another little bit of paper to, there you go, cutting off the fun foam so it fits in, and there's another piece of paper behind it just on two sides. Well, I wanted some thread and I found this one. I reckon years and years old, Making Memories thread for sewing years ago, but it was just the right colour that I needed. And after I pulled it apart, because I didn't want it really thick, I've Couldn't quite decide where I wanted it, but after fiddling around, I got it in spots, or in the right spot, I should say. Well, the spot that I was happy with anyway. I don't know, I just chuck it on the page and hope for the best, really, and the way it lands is quite often how I glue it down, and no making a lovely mess, it's just a mess for me. Anyway, stuck it all down. I find when I try to use glue to stick this down, it just buckles my paper, or my back paper, even more, and I'm not happy with it. I really like these glitter words, and thought hello, and the title will be Hello Twiglet, because that's the name of the bear, was a perfect title. That way I could use the hello from the glittery stickers. I'm just adding a few little embellishment pieces around the photo, mainly because in the photo was a big piece of blue or tablecloth, and I didn't want that to catch people's eyes, so I thought if I cover it up with a little flower, you won't see it. So, the story of this little bear, one of the girls in my class that I've had for, well, she was in my class for the last 18 months actually. I always called her Twiglet, and her mum made me this bear as a thank you present at the end of last year, and it came with a tag on it saying that its name is Twiglet. So, and all the ends of the fur have got little gold bits on it. I showed it to some of my girlfriends the other night, and they all thought it wasn't the greatest bear. They thought, oh, it's a bit ugly, but I really love it. I love the little face on it. Must say something about me when I love the little weird bear, but I think it's gorgeous. Probably because of the story that goes with it. Sasha, the little girl that gave it to me, is a gorgeous little girl, and so I'll always think of her when I look at the bear. So a bit of journaling saying that I got it from Sasha, and that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this process. Love it if you dropped over to the Studio Challenges blog and joined along with us. And thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and share, or subscribe would be even better. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.